I always advise against is just reaching out to people when you need something, right?
Yeah.
If you fully understand your network and your phone book inside your phone of who's in there, then you can consistently stay in contact, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, just check in on people, see how they're doing, see what's going on in their world, and also sharing what's going on in your world will let them know how they can help you.
What up, Doe, and welcome to the Meech Show podcast, Guidelines to Get Up Off the Sidelines. I am your host, Meech, and y'all, I am overjoyed about today's interview. I've been anticipating this for a while now, so I'm very excited to introduce to you Steve Canal. Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
You're so welcome. So, could you go ahead and introduce yourself just to kind of let the people know who you are, what you do?
Absolutely. Steve Canal, New York, born and raised. I am an entrepreneur with multiple businesses. Overarching, we have one venture group, which a lot of our business ventures, our intellectual properties and agency partnerships, client partnerships roll up to. We also have Flourish, which is the premier spot and destination for Black-owned brands, for people to discover and shop Black-owned brands. One Music Fest, which is a platform that we've had for over 12 years. And we also work with major clients across the board doing digital activation, production, storyboarding, strategy, and so forth. I've been in this space going on 20 years. Started out, in the agency working with the U.S. Army across the country, activating events. So I've actually activated events in every state in the country. Wow. So I've been all over the country activating. Also a best-selling author, wrote a book called The Mind of a Winner, which was a #1 Amazon bestseller as well in 24 hours, which is amazing. We have Damon John from ABC Shark Tank, creator of FUBU, Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank, my amazing wife, Swing Cash, who just got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, Kenny Smith from Inside the NBA on TNT, and a bunch of other 2 Chainz. Just giving you access to their mindset, right? And things, common threads that you can apply, which I call power moves into your life, and achieve your level of success, whatever that may be.
Yeah, so I read the book, and here we're all about mindset, right? That is the reason I created this podcast, is to shift our mindsets. I grew up where things were a little limited and closed off, and so being here and in Atlanta, first of all, around all this Black excellence, I just wanted people that I know who didn't have access to be in the rooms or maybe to have the conversations as readily as I did, to be a fly on the wall and to come and to listen to the conversation and have your mindset shifted. And reading the book was so good. I opened it, I'm reading, and I'm like, I have to share this book. Somebody else got to get it. I'll buy books for people, read this, I'm sending this to you, because it was really, really enlightening just to see the way people think that have achieved so much, that have achieved greatness. And the book was amazing. So I just had to throw that in there.
I really appreciate that.
I kind of want to talk about the power of partnership. How has partnership played into your life?
Yeah, relationships is the key, right? I always tell people it's 99.9% impossible to do it yourself. And along your journey, you're going to meet people who are going to be able to put you in a position to, give you trajectory in whatever space you're in, right? Mm-hmm. You just have to let the world know what it is that you want, and the world will start to open up its doors for you, right? And that is, tied to relationships. And I always talk about the power of networking and effective networking, right? Connecting with the right people and building the relationships throughout the year. It's one of the things that I always advise against is just reaching out to people when you need something, right? Yeah. If you fully understand your network and your phone book inside your phone of who's in there, then you can consistently stay in contact, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, just check in on people, see how they're doing, see what's going on in their world, and also sharing what's going on in your world will let them know how they can help you. Right. So by being an effective networker and staying tied to people who immediately will impact your growth, it's very, very important. Whether I was in corporate or as an entrepreneur, my relationships have been the key to my growth and getting me to where I am today, the experiences I've been able to experience in life. So it's very important, through relationships and networking to make sure you're managing and maintaining those relationships.
Yeah, and make time for. I like how you said don't just check in when you need something, because typically people who do have like the power to help, everybody's asking them for something. So don't just be another person asking for something whenever you need something. But being willing to, I found for myself, also serving other people's dreams, being willing to help and offer help sometimes, or just, a listening ear or whatever, but that kind of helps to solidify the relationship and make it more than just business. Because my best relationships, they're friends as well. Like we've really gotten close, but we also do business together. So
yeah, I think the human factor is left out a lot of times, forgetting that we're all human, regardless of what level or what people have been able to achieve. We're all human at the end of the day. We want to be treated as such, right? And not being viewed as just a tool, that you can leverage every time you need something or need to fix something or position yourself. So just by checking on people, seeing how their family's doing, seeing how they're doing, seeing how their businesses are doing, and if there's anything you can do to support or help. A lot of times we just feel as support is just cutting a check. No, support comes in a lot of different ways. You can reshare what I have going on your stories, and that can impact 1, 2, 3 people's lives, right? You can, definitely just sharing information is big, and being a resource for somebody is very big. And for me, that's a part of my purpose in life. My purpose is to provide resources and help people achieve their level of success, right? Like everybody, life isn't cookie cutter. So I can't expect, things that you may need to support to be the same for the next 10 people I meet, right? It's not cookie cutter. It's going to be custom and curated. So we're going to have a curated custom conversation. And from there, I'll see how I can assist. Right. Yeah. Whether it's making a contact, you're saying, hey, I want to get into this space, or I'm looking for a particular brand that's in this space. And I'm like, oh, I happen to know somebody within that space, and connect you via email or, through a connection, through a DM connection on social media. So it's a lot of ways to do it, but it's also listening to your point and seeing how you can support people's dreams as well.
Absolutely. That's powerful. I think most of my blessings have come from just genuine support of other people. So when they see that I'm doing something, they're like, how can I be a part of this? How can I help? What do you need? How can I show up? And that is like an overwhelming feeling of just like, that feels good. They're just like waiting for you to do something so they can like reciprocate, the support you made them feel. So I think that's really important.
And I think that was probably the key to my book being a bestseller, is the fact that I poured so much into people's lives, of sharing information and giving. When it came time to say, hey, this is my offering, people just wanted to support, right? Yeah. Right away. Like, how can I support? What can I do? What can I share? They were asking me for information to support and share. So it's just a matter of pouring into people's lives as well. Gary Vaynerchuk, he has a book that's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And for him, that's what it is. It's like he's giving. And the right hook is his ask, right? Is his offering to the world, and people wanting to pour into it because he's given so much. Like, he's a content machine. Like, he doesn't hold anything back. He'll share everything. Yeah. Right. That's just so people can have that information. And when he does something, people just want to support because he's so much of a resource.
Yeah. Wow, I've never even really thought of it this way, and how much has come back from that giving, just from a good place, just genuinely wanting to support. That is so dope to think about. I was gonna say, so here I told you that we're about shifting mindset, right? So for you, what's been one of your biggest shifts mentally? Like, what was the time where it just clicked and things changed, like you saw everything change?
Yeah, so within our culture, we're tied to what we see on TV, what we see on social media, the music we listen to, videos, movies, and we feel as if that's it, right? Like that's how life should be. And understanding that you have to curate your life and get out your comfort zone of understanding what's important to you and understanding what your purpose is. Once I understood my purpose, I understood what wasn't aligned with it. And I can curate now the people I follow on social media, the people that I give my immediate attention to, whether it's friends I've known since I was a child. Doesn't mean that I don't like you, I love you, but doesn't mean we have to talk every day, because your journey and my journey aren't necessarily aligned, but I'm gonna be here for you, right?
Yeah.
Because time is the most valuable resource that we have. So for me to continue to pour all the time, and not understand that I need to check in with my priorities, which is my family, right? My mental and physical health, right? Spirituality and family, like those are my priorities. So right now I make decisions based off that. If I decide not to take a check or do an event or partner on an activation because I'd rather spend time with my 1-year-old or 4-year-old, it's because that's my priority. And I'm willing to live with those consequences of not receiving whatever because of it. Yeah. Right. And on the flip side, I have to understand that if I do make that choice, that my children are going to be missing out because I decided to make this decision. Right. So prioritizing my purpose. Once I understood my purpose in life, everything now aligns to that. So I make my decisions based off that. Like we're here today because what you're offering to your audience is aligned with my purpose in life, which is to provide resources, information, so people can achieve their level of success. So this is valuable, right, to me, because you're sharing content, and I appreciate that. So I'm gonna make time for it. Right. My kids are on spring break. I can be at the park with my kids right now. Right. But I understand that this is important. So I'm going to do this. And then after, I'll dedicate that time of cutting out whatever else I can cut out to go to the park and spend time with them outdoors so they can get some fresh air and do that. Right. Yeah. So yeah, just all the things. So just prioritizing purpose and understanding what that is meant and what it means to me allows me to navigate life much more easier, because it's less stressful, because I'm making decisions and understand that making this decision aligns with my purpose and I can live with that consequence.
And it makes it easier. I feel like when you don't know your purpose or you don't have a good sense of who you are and why you're here, you kind of gravitate towards anything. Because what differentiates them? You'll start a million business ventures, you'll hang out with anybody, you'll say yes to any opportunity, because what can differentiate the two? You know what I mean? Or the difference between any of them if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing or why you're here. So that's very powerful. Yeah, that's a good shift. To know your purpose. Knowing your purpose shifted everything. I love that. And it shifted how you make your decisions. So what about habits? Like, are there like any habits that you would say like lead you to a more successful place? Like things that we do often, or good or bad?
Yeah, absolutely. Time management is very big. I always tell people to audit their time within a week, just to see how you're spending your time, what you're spending your time towards, because we always tell ourselves that we don't have enough time in a day or a week, 168 hours in a week, 24 hours in a day. You can manage, 1 or 2 hours here towards your passion, your purpose, things that you love. Even if you're in a corporate setting or something where it demands your time, you can still dedicate your time towards your purpose and the things that you would do without getting paid for, which will manifest into, eventually getting paid for it down the line, right? Yeah. So time management for me, from a habit perspective, and valuing that time and understanding how I spend my time made a huge difference, because it allowed me, when I was in corporate, and I coined the term corporate-prenuer, to be able to do both, because I manage my time efficiently. Yeah. Right. I was able to still be a high performer in the corporate setting, because I understood that in those after hours is when I was going to have to lock in for a certain amount of time. And when I decided to transition and just go all in, back to being an entrepreneur, that, those only 4 hours of sleep, was worth it, because it allowed me to get to where I am today. And my calendar is as free and easy as it's ever been now.
Wow.
Because I dedicated that time and sacrifice into my purpose and what I knew I wanted to do. Like, I went into corporate to understand how to run $1 billion business, right?
Yeah.
I went into sales, trade marketing. I went into community affairs. I did basically every role in corporate, right? To fully understand how it works, to understand strategy, understand 3-year, 5-year plans, innovation, insights, research. And now I apply all that to all the businesses that we have now to be able to move efficiently. And that time management, if I wasn't efficient with time and being able to manage time, I wouldn't have been able to manage that piece. So.
Yeah. I seen you in an interview you said something about respecting time, which, let me just say for myself, when you said respecting time and like the way you presented it, I was like, am I disrespecting time? Because like I'm late at this point. I was late to everything. Like, I would show up 20 minutes late, like, I'm sorry y'all, but I'm here, late to work, late to events, just always late. And I'm like, I am not respecting time. So I literally have been doing a whole lot better. Like at worst, I'm 10 minutes late, but I've really been on time to most things. And I'm trying to keep it that way and keep things on my calendar and keep the time I said and not rearrange it, because time is the one thing we don't know how much we have left.
Absolutely. And we don't get that time back.
We don't get it back.
Right? We don't get that time back. You can't buy it. You don't get it back. So for me, if there's a lot of time to do something, I really try to stay on point with that and dedicate that time, because not just my time, other people's time.
Yeah.
Right. Like that 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes that person was waiting for me respectfully was 20 minutes of their life that just went away, gone, that they can't get back. And that's a major disrespect.
It is.
It's the most valuable resource that we have. It's more valuable than diamonds. It's more valuable than gold. It's more valuable than anything.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure I respect that time, more so not just for me, but for others as well.
Yeah, and respecting time allows you to utilize your time so much better, because I'm on the same type of track where I'm corporate, I'm in marketing, but I'm also an entrepreneur. And so I know what it means to have to balance them both. But managing my time, I feel like a beast. I get so much done that at the end of the day, I'm just like, look what I did. You feel so good. It's so gratifying, but that's because I'm balancing it.
That's another piece that I want people to understand, is you have to celebrate all wins, big and small, right? Those accomplishments that you speak of, like I have lists and lists and lists of stuff every day. I go through these books all day of just lists.
Yeah.
And as I accomplish, I cross them out so I can physically see them. And by the end of the day, I see I checked off 7 or 10 items, big or small, that were being able to be accomplished. And then what wasn't, I can transfer to the next day. Right. But I get to celebrate those wins and understand that, I'm taking one step closer than I was prior to me crossing that list out.
And it feels so good. I don't know what it is. I do checklists, right? I do my whole life is a checklist. I do boxes. When I check those boxes, and at the end of the day, I might have 3 boxes left, but I hit 10 of those boxes. Like, we're not going to negate these 10 boxes. And you, like you said, roll those 3 boxes over to the next day, the next steps that follow those. And that's how you really crush it.
Yeah. And mentally, it's good because it positions you to know that you're accomplishing, because I'm in the process of moving. So just got another house and selling this one. So I had to take all the images that I typically have back here. It's images of things that I've done throughout the course of my life. And that was a reminder to me, similar to a checklist, to know that I've accomplished a lot. Every time I walk into the office, I can look and say, man, I was able to accomplish a lot. So I can't be down on myself, because we always want to do more. We feel like we're not doing enough. We need to do this, and that. When I look at it, it's just a reflection of understanding that I've accomplished a lot. I've done a lot.
Look what I've done. Yeah.
Been able to experience a lot, not just with me, but with family and loved ones. So it puts me in a better frame of mind just to start, just starting off, just a better frame of mind and understanding that. So yeah, crossing out, checking off, just understanding that you've been able to accomplish mentally positions you to be in a better place, because you're moving forward, because we're so hard on ourselves.
Wow, I like that. I like surrounding myself with my accomplishments. That I don't think I'm good at, because I'm glad about what I've accomplished today, and I feel like I'm in beast mode. But if I were to look back, I'm like, okay, I still need this, this, this. I don't think I keep a good accounting system of what has been done over a large amount of time. But I like that. If I surround myself with my accomplishments, I'm like, remember you did this, and you did this, and you did this. I really like that. So you spoke about like being a 9-to-5, or you were in corporate, you were building your business. I feel like today, 9-to-5s are often downplayed. Like, like you work a 9-to-5. Like I've literally seen and heard people like downplay a 9-to-5, but how has working a 9-to-5 helped you to achieve what you've achieved?
And I'll speak a little to just the downplaying of it. Again, life isn't cookie cutter. Mm-hmm. So it's not made for all of us to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. It's not made for all of us to be in corporate. It's made for us to have a balance, right? Even though the makeup of, the United States is more so majority entrepreneurs, that's what keeps the world moving forward, right? The innovation, the mindset, the concepts keeps us moving forward. Small business, right? Small business is what pushes United States forward. It isn't the big Fortune 500, 100 companies. Yes, they make up, from a dollars perspective, a big number, but the majority of people that are involved in working are more so in small business, right? Understanding what's important to you is what should make you happy. Yeah. And downplaying somebody else's happiness, you need some therapy. There's something that you need to work on. You need to work on to understand, like, why am I bashing this person, right? Like everybody isn't built to eat what they catch. You know what I'm saying? People are more built to get their check every 2 weeks or 4 weeks in a built structure. And they're happy with that. That makes them happy, right? And so you should be happy for them. And then there's some people that are in corporate that are miserable, hate their job, but that's what you signed up for. So you can't be mad at the entrepreneur who's putting in the grind, sleepless nights, traveling, missing their kids, their family, to make a living for themselves and accomplish that and hit that and do great. You may just see the amazing trips and the partying and the having fun, but being an entrepreneur is not easy. No, it's an everyday thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I say all that to say, like, both should respect each other's hustle, whatever it is, and support it. And for me, I understood that, a multi-billion-dollar business is a multi-billion-dollar business for a reason. And there are certain things that they put into play that allow them to achieve that level of success. Yeah. So I was an entrepreneur. Then I went into corporate and then did both same time. Then I went full time back to an entrepreneur. My stint of going into corporate is because of the recession of like 2008. Prior to that, I graduated college and, effective networking and using my natural skills, I was able to grow an entrepreneurial business. I did great for myself, right? But what the recession taught me was I needed structure, I needed strategy, I needed insights, I needed innovation. And I didn't, from college, I went straight out, right? So I didn't take the time to do business school, right? So me going to corporate was my business school. Same. I was getting paid for it, right? And I had the ability to try out different functions, network, meet people, use the machine's dollar to impact our community by developing national programs. So on tour with Damon John, I did tours with Kenny Smith and so forth. I was able to bring certain platforms from a corporate setting to life that impacted people of color directly by taking those dollars and pouring them into the community through programs I was developing. right? And in the midst of that, I was still able to understand from a corporate setting the structure, the innovation, the insights, the strategy, and how to do that properly, right? Because I know people who do PR, and I know real publicists, right? Yeah. Like there's a difference, there's a big difference, right? Of how the mindset of some people. And I knew that I wanted to understand fully how to run $1 billion business, to be able to apply that to the businesses that we had. As you know, I was being a corporate-prenuer to still have my entrepreneurial ventures, but now apply that mindset, the strategy and everything into that.
Structure, everything.
The structure to have it run, like a multi-billion-dollar business, right?
Yeah, that's mastery. That's like business mastery.
But again, that was a part of my purpose.
Right.
I knew why I was in corporate. So whether I was getting a raise or taking this job or doing this I knew why I was there. So it allowed me to move forward with stuff, because corporate is still politics.
It is.
You may still have goals to accomplish certain things, and things might not happen. But if you know your purpose and why you're there, it's all right. You know why you're there. So you're there to get a specific information. So I positioned myself to get that specific information. And it wasn't me trying to play the game of, becoming on the executive team or this or that. I knew why I was there. Right. So mentally, I was able to be in those positions and play that game, knowing why I was there.
Because you knew you were there to collect skills. You knew you were seeking knowledge. You were really trying to learn and apply the skills you learned. That is amazing. Now I'm thinking about what you just said. You were learning while also benefiting our community in a major way. So you were learning, impacting, like literally mastering all at the same time. That's amazing.
I was managing multi-million-dollar budgets.
Yeah.
So I was able to develop a program called Mill Light Tap the Future with Damon John, where we're on tour for 5 years supporting entrepreneurs. Like Gooder, who's in Atlanta, she's doing amazing work in Atlanta, giving back, right? She was a part of the platform. Partake, vegan goods. Before people knew what vegan goods were, Jay-Z just invested $3 million in their business. Like I was hearing that pitch before it got to that. Right. Yeah. To be able to support and so on and so on. So we were pouring dollars into the community and supporting, people of color, within that space, refurbishing basketball courts in parks around the country. Like we were doing that. I was able to use those dollars because I knew once I left that those dollars might not be there. So it's also a sacrifice of being able to manage those dollars to impact those communities.
Man, that is amazing. I can't even imagine how many lives you touch as a result of. I can't even imagine what the ripple effect on that.
So the crazy part is, and you said it, like I'll meet people who will say, man, this person was just talking about you and how you did this for them and it helped them elevate or launch or start their business or do this nonprofit or do this or do that. I hear that so many times. Like it's so many that I don't remember them all. Yeah. Right? Because that's not why I was doing it.
No.
I really just wanted to support and help. So it was at volume that it was happening all over the country.
Because you're helping somebody who's helping more people. You know what I mean? That's the ripple effect of like, oh man, it was just like genuine wanting to help and being a resource. Like you are a literal resource.
Yeah.
So how does Flourish play into this? I know that this is is Flourish like new?
Yeah, so we launched Flourish in January.
Okay.
So Flourish is basically a part of the mindset of a collection of all that I've been able to do to support Black business, right? And people of color. Yeah. So creating Flourish it's a platform to foster the discovery and growth of Black-owned brands. So on Flourish, we have over 4,000 products of Black-owned brands that are on the platform.
It's like household stuff.
Yeah, from vegan lip gloss to flat out of heels to apparel to premium luxury apparel and goods as well, right? To Vicky's pancakes, to everything like pancake syrup. like we have it all, water brands,
Like a Black marketplace.
It's a Black marketplace. It is.
Wow.
But I'll say a Black community marketplace because it's two parts to it. One, you can go on flourish.com and shop and support Black owned brands, whoever you are. But we also do the storytelling as well. So we interview all of the brands on the platform so you get a better connection of the founders, what went into the platform, the idea behind it. And we also help them with pushing that story out, whether it's through our PR and communications team, which is pitching their stories to media outlets, right? Most of them gotten picked up by media outlets for interviews, to working with storytellers and influencers to create content for the brands to live on different platforms, to working with our strategic partners like The Cut Life, who review products. And we're going to be launching this new feature on the site where, Tahira, who's the founder of The Cut Life, they have over 1.5 million followers on Instagram and other platforms. She'll be reviewing and highlighting brands on her platform as well, in addition to on Flourish, right? To, corporate partners that we're working with, to get brands into retail, to get them in big box chains, foundations to educate them on how to run a business or prepare your business to get into retail. Cash flow partners who can help with cash flow for inventory or to grow their business. So it is a full community platform that's way bigger than just selling products on a site, right? It's way bigger than that. And we also have a Slack channel where all the businesses are on the platform and they get to communicate with each other as well, sharing insights on vendors or collaboration ideas and so forth.
Wow, this is amazing. This is like all the resources you need. Like, start here, and then this is how we help you get them. If you need money for it, if you need just to know what to do next, it's educational, and you can actually sell your things there.
Education is a big piece. And we'll be doing in real life events as well. We'll be doing an HBCU tour in the fall, going to HBCUs, talking to students about being entrepreneurs with the founders, so they can talk to the students, because some of the HBCUs don't offer certain courses around entrepreneurship and business. So being able to talk about what it took to be where they are today, and what to expect, when they graduate, and the resources that can be available now while they're entrepreneurs in school. Just sharing that insight from the fall and going into homecoming and being a resource is going to be a part of it as well. We do pop-up shops across the country as well, for brands that are in certain markets, to give people an intimate opportunity to meet brands and support brands as well.
Wow, you are literally a resource. Steve, I didn't even realize, even in reading the books, watching the interviews, just how big of a resource you are. And this is really your life's work. This is amazing. So I'm gonna put in the description box, right? I'm gonna put in the description box the link so that our viewers can go over to flourish.com. So my last question is, what is the biggest vision you hold for yourself?
And I hope for myself is to continue pushing forward and being a resource, right? And developing intellectual properties that we can own as a people and people can invest in as well. So a lot of the platforms that I have, I'll be doing friends and family and opening up investment opportunities so people can have ownership in these platforms, right? Because that's not something we've always been allowed to do. I believe it was Obama who passed the law that allowed for us to start investing in businesses. So when you see a platform like Fanbase, or Popcom, being able to open that opportunity up on a start engine where people can start investing, $250 up to hundreds of, to thousands of dollars to invest. That wasn't always an opportunity. In the past, we had to be licensed to be able to invest in these platforms. So having platforms that could potentially be bought in 5 or 10 years or 15 years, and you can invest $1,000 and it, 10x or 15x, like that's huge for our community.
It is.
Right? Being able to position yourselves to be able to invest in businesses and have ownership in businesses that are doing it right. It's important, right? So continuing to develop intellectual properties that are positioning our community to develop legacy and wealth is big for me. That's why I do what I do, because I hate seeing people stress, and it's impossible to stop everybody from stressing. But if I can impact the people that come in touch with me or my immediate circle of people, and that creates a halo effect of impact, I'm going to continue to create, along with, you know, my team and the people, my partners, to be able to, you know, develop offerings that'll position people to be better off in where they are today.
Yeah. Wow. I value this conversation so much. And even though I'm here, I'm going to go back and watch it a couple times, make sure I didn't miss anything. This was so amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to drop some links below in the description box so you guys can check out flourish.com. And I'm also going to drop the link for your website. And thank you. I also want to thank you guys for tuning in. Come back. We're here each and every Monday, dropping jewels. Like, subscribe, share, all the things. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. All right, next time.